Right now, we are gathering here to firstly hear one keynote address and then to discuss European visions for Ukraine. And then also we will discuss the new security geopolitical order. So that's our, let's say, lineup for the rest of this afternoon/evening. And as I said, we will start this, let's say, phase of Prague European Summit with a keynote address. Unfortunately, Mr. Jan Lipavský, Foreign Minister of the Czech Republic, couldn't join us today because he has the meeting of the Czech government right now. But we have a very great speaker instead of him, who is Mr. Eduard Hulicius, who is Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Czechia. So I would like now to pass the floor to Mr. Hulicius.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a difficult task trying to replace the irreplaceable, my minister, who cannot come, who couldn't come because of government duties, sadly. But anyway, I'm here. So, dear excellencies and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, although merely a replacement, I'm very delighted that I have the opportunity to address you and the Prague European Summit and to say a few words on behalf of the minister. I should begin with clear statement that the European values are under immense pressure and we must constantly look for ways how to defend them. Freedom, democracy, rule of law, human rights, these pillars of European society are frequently attacked. Sometimes they prevail only after extraordinary efforts from our side. Your summit, or this Prague European Summit, allows us to approach the current European challenges from combined perspective of governments, think tanks, media, diplomacy. Such dialogues are vital in pursuing ways to protect the liberal democracy. And this year, your focus on the EU's comprehensive resilience and geopolitical leverage is very timely and acute topic. With one single theme in forefront of all, and that's Ukraine and the Russian war of aggression against it. Our continuous support of Ukraine and the gradual European integration are crucial aspects for resilience of the Union, of the European Union we have. And the EU must also be a very strong and reliable geopolitical player. For now more than a year and a half, the Ukrainians have been heroically defending their nation, their sovereignty, their statehood, and indirectly the whole of Europe, all of us. They have and they will always have our immense respect and unwavering support. The enemy, the Kremlin and its proxies, are challenging us, they are challenging Europe on many fronts. Ukraine is and will remain the main battlefield which will decide whether Russia succeeds or fails in its effort to preserve their ways of governing. And we must not let Ukraine down. There are those who suggest that a deal with Russia at the expense of Ukraine is possible, and they are wrong. This would only encourage the Putin's regime to advance as its goals, and they are not secret, these goals are rather open, reach far beyond Ukraine. We have what it takes to succeed. We have the will, we have the resolve of Europe, of European nations. The positions of our union and of our alliance, of NATO, are strong. What we need is to keep focus on the tasks. The military deliveries must be fast, sustainable, and closely coordinated with Ukraine. So far, we are delivering what we can. Increased pressure through sanctions is needed, as well as the special tribunal for crime of aggressions. The reason why my minister is not here is very closely related to the sanctions, so I hope he will be apologized. We also need to continue support of the President Zelensky's 10-point peace plan. Czech Republic is very active is playing very actively its role on several points of the peace plan. As concerns Ukraine's prospects of further integration to the EU and NATO, these are pillars of our future partnership, and we are heartily supporting them. In our belief, in belief of Czechia and the government, the gradual integration of Ukraine is vital for the resilience of our continent. We must provide also a balanced roadmap for the countries on the path of joining the EU from the Western Balkans and Eastern Europe. In this regard, we support the last Commission's enlargement package and its recommendations. As concerns the Union, our Union, it must be geopolitically strong. That means it has to address the world and the crisis and affairs of the world, which is interconnected more and more. Many conflicts outside of Europe, or most of conflicts outside of Europe, have serious impacts on our continent. Wherever there is conflict, there are refugees, there are migration waves. Whenever there is conflict, our trade is disrupted, the raw materials production can be disrupted. Everything is almost immediately having its effect on Europe. One intangible accompany of conflicts is the disinformation. Disinformation, which is spread on modern networks and which is affecting our societies from within. To have a globally strong EU, each member state should focus on its strength. Each member state should serve with the other member states to find synergies and protection from all crises. To address our vulnerabilities, such as dependence on China, the EU should diversify smartly, balance our business and our trade, and build enough security checks into actions on the international stage. The framework of the EU trade agreements is vital for the geopolitical European Union. And our contribution, the Czech contribution to the strong EU, exists. We have seen our recent presidency in the Council. We have shown that Czechia is assuming responsibility with good results. We have experience which is pushing us forward on our application for membership in the UN Security Council. We are determined to work with like-minded partners across the globe, deepening the strategic relations with the US, UK, and of course Japan and Korea. We are reaching out worldwide in a targeted way to friendly states like India, Vietnam, members of Gulf Cooperation Countries Council, and also countries in Africa and Latin America. We are implementing our national strategy for Indo-Pacific and Africa, especially as concerns Indo-Pacific. That's something rather novel for Czech Republic. What we want is to run projects of strategic communication and develop contacts with young leaders across the globe. These efforts are important for our bilateral relations, for building of long-term relations, but also for increasing the EU's geopolitical leverage. Just last mention about our adversary. We know that Russia has very few real staunch allies globally, but it also has a large group of countries that prefer to stay neutral in what they perceive as a European conflict in Ukraine. Sometimes they side with Russia because it benefits them, and it's our task and it's a role of European Union to actively engage with these countries, to explain, to make clear what's the situation and to make clear what must be the result of the war in Ukraine. And we are very active in this essential endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Thank you for inviting me. And I wish the Prague European Summit good discussions. I wish you good panelists and very nice evening. Thank you very much.